Now let's first of all just take a look at a simple string. So I'm going to say I am, or I could be any case. Okay, so this string could be user supplied data. It could be anything really, but in this case we're looking at a static string that we've just created. Now what happens if I want to create this string completely lowercase? Now we'll look at an example of how we can do this first, the same with uppercase. However, we'll also then talk about why this might be useful in real life situations. So string lower, I've created a new variable, and this is equal to str2 lower, and then in brackets we add the string that we want to convert with the correct $sign. So essentially what we've done is create a new variable here. We've used a function here called str to lower, so it's quite easy to remember, and we've supplied it with the argument string, so we're converting this string to lowercase. So now what we can do is underneath is we can echo string lower. So let's preview that in our browser and see if that's worked. And you can see it has in fact worked. The I was capital before, as you can see here, and it's not anymore. So for example, I could say I could be any case, and if I refresh now, you see that we get exactly the same result, because whatever capital letters are there, we're converting them back to lowercase. So now let's try the same but with uppercase. So we're going to create a new variable underneath here called string upper, and that's going to be equal to str2, and you probably guessed it, upper, and then we supply it with the same data, so string. Now let's just change this output so we're echoing the upper rather than the lower, and we can refresh and see what happens. Let's just have a look here. I think too many P's in that one. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, so now we can see that our string has been converted to completely uppercase. So it's extremely simple to convert from lowercase to uppercase, from uppercase to lowercase, and from a user typed text to any case as well. Now, why would we want to use these functions inside of PHP? Now, I'm just going to be focusing on the str to lower just for the moment. And I'm going to create a short program that demonstrates this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form with an action and a method. So we're going to post that as get, or submit that as get, and the action is going to be index.php. End the form there, and we're just going to take one line of user data. So let's say name. Oh, what am I doing? I'm starting a link for no reason. So input type is text. The name of this is just going to be user underscore name, and then we can break down and we'll add a submit button. Type equals submit, and the value of that is going to be submit. Okay, so let's just preview this in our browser to make sure everything's looking and working okay. Okay, so the point of this example I'm going to show you is I want a user to enter their name, and I want to perform an if statement on this user's name. Now, if I was to type my name usually in here, I might just type Alex in lowercase, but me personally, I'd usually use Alex with a capital A, as it should be written. However, how do you know how your user is going to enter a specific value into a text field? You don't. They could type Alex, they could type Alex, they could even say Alex like that. You don't know how people are going to type their name in. So if you're taking generic data such as a name and you just want to perform, a comparison on it using a comparison operator, you might want to convert it to lowercase, so whatever the user types in, you can always perform the check correctly. So if it doesn't make sense, we'll carry on and I'll show you an example. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check for the data. So I'm going to say if is set $_get user name, and the reason I've used get is so we can keep an eye on it in the URL bar up the top. So I'm going to say and not empty $_get user name. And if these two statements evaluate to true, or this whole statement as a whole evaluates to true, we can reset the variable name here. This is just to ensure we don't grab any errors outside of this, because if we were to put this username equals $_get username outside of this if statement, we'd probably have an undefined indexed error. So if you find you're getting errors undefined index, this is why, because you're setting a variable to something that may not exist before you do your checks, or you might not be doing checks at all. Anyway, so username equals get username. So let's just echo that out so we can preview this in our browser and get an idea of what's going on. So I'm typing Alex with a capital A first of all, and I'm going to click submit. Now, oh, it doesn't seem to have shown. Let's have a look what we might have done wrong. Username. Oh yeah, okay, so I haven't included my underscore there. So let's just type that in again. I'm going to type Alex with a capital A, and I'm going to click submit. So you can see that's been posted back to us. We can view it, and we can also keep an eye on. We've got a capital A up here, and then the rest LEX is in lowercase. Now I'm going to type it in completely lowercase, and you can see that both values here are updated. However, now what I want to do is inside here. Let's just take away that echo. I want to create a check to say if username equals Alex, so remember we're using a double equals here for a comparison, then I want to say, let's just say you are the best. Okay, so I know a bit of an odd example, but okay, so my point is that if we were checking for the username, this user's name that we've specified. Now let's just type in Alex with a capital A again. Now the result I'm going to get now is absolutely nothing. However, if I type in lowercase, we're now checking in lowercase just here. So, you know, it's only going to echo out you are the best if the user has typed their name, even though it's the same name. We're only going to get this message here, if you look, if it's in lowercase. So the simple solution is to create a new variable. Don't convert this username variable, because if you need to use it later on or store it, you want to store it the same way the user has typed it in, but you want to use a comparison in your lowercase version. So you want to create a new variable for this. So user name, I'm going to say LC for lowercase equals $_. Oh no, what we can do is say equals username with the underscore, remember. However, we're going to enclose this in the str2lower function. So now what we're doing is we're creating a new variable called username. We're converting what the user's already typed to lowercase, and now what we can do is we can simply perform this check here. But we've still got the original value that the user entered, even though we've created a lowercase version. So let's just check if this works, which it should do. So with Alex in here, with the lowercase version, and we click submit, it says you're the best. However, with the Alex, the capital A beforehand, it didn't work, but now it does. And we can even just do something silly like that and click submit, and it still works. However, the point I wanted to get across, because we've created this new variable, now what you can do is you can specify the variable the original way that it was typed. So even though we're comparing only the lowercase version, you can still use the original version. So let's just refresh. It says you are the best. A capital L, small e, capital X. So same with Alex with a capital A, and then exactly the same with the small. So it maintains the structure